welcome to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for October 10th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm the Chris Brown.
What do you got?
Well, I'm going to lead off here with Archer and Armstrong, number 3 by Valiant Comics. I've liked this book. I think it's really, really fun. The first 2 issues have been great. It's got the, the adventurous style and the humor from the previous, but it's also kind of, it very much feels like an update. It's paced a little bit more what we're used to in modern storytelling. Not that, well, I guess 90s was longer ago than I'd like to admit. Looking at 20 years ago. Really, really cool stuff. I like what they're doing. I like how they brought the 2 characters of Archer and Armstrong together. Kind of interesting. They kind of go into the cult stuff in the kid's background, which I dig. I like that. Great stuff, and I think Valiant is just doing an awesome job right now. I am as excited as I wanted to be. I was a little nervous if it was going to be good or, trying to take a crack at these old characters, but I think they're a lot of fun. I'm looking at Bloodshot number 4, also by Valiant Comics. This, it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, circa 1989. It's all right. I like it. The main reason I'm reading it is because I just want to see where the first story arc goes. And it's not that Chris, it's one of your picks, it's in your stack, but you always seem a little, I want to like the book more than I am, if that makes sense, and that doesn't mean that I don't like it. It just means that I might not, I'm not 19 anymore. So, that's one thing. So I just might not be in the right mindset or the right place, but I'm sure this book would be awesome for someone.
Yeah.
It is, and the storytelling is good, and it's cool.
You've been enjoying so many of the other Valiant books so much, you almost want all of them to hit that higher level.
And if it's my 4th favorite of 4, that's still not saying anything bad. It's just saying that much better about the other 3. Because I do think it's well written and the art's fantastic. I just don't know that a nanite-powered assassin is my thing anymore.
Yeah.
That's all. Then I'm looking at Avengers End Times, issue number 31. This is the last issue of this Avengers series. Yeah. They're bringing everything to a close, bringing it home so they can relaunch everything now. Or then, when they get to it. It'll be now.
Yeah.
The whole Marvel Now gimmick is, I still don't fully understand it. I think it's just a moving of teams, right?
It's a renumbering.
It's not necessarily, it's not a new 52.
There's no reboot. All the continuity still applies. They're just new number 1s.
And new costumes.
Banners. New costumes.
Is Spider-Man going to be superior? Is that what we're hearing?
We'll find out.
What's that all about? Fair enough. That's this weekend, eh?
Yeah.
Then I've got A vs. X Consequences, number 1. This is going to be spinning right out of the number 12 there. And I'm going to avoid spoilers from that last issue 12. Usually I'm not afraid of spoilers, but I haven't read it yet, so I can't even spoil it for you. I'm a week behind. But this is essentially going to pick it up. We obviously know Scott comes to Phoenix and all heck breaks loose. So let's see what happens. Oh, it looks like all right. I'm not gonna. That looks like that could be fun. Looks like that could be real fun. And again, it's exactly what it says it is. A vs. X Consequences.
Yeah.
Wrapping it up the way Marvel always does. You gotta just
once you're done
to the finish line.
There's still 4 or 5 more issues of spin-offs and other things.
Absolutely. Then I've got Phantom Stranger number 1 from DC. This is in the New 52 here. This is who's writing this? This is Dan DiDio with art by Brent Anderson.
Nice artwork.
It really is. And Brent Anderson, I don't know if those of you were fans of Astro City back in the 90s, and even the early part of this decade. I guess maybe 2009 was the last time we saw one.
It's kind of going on.
Kinda, sorta. Yeah. I think they never finished that last miniseries, but Brent Anderson was the artist on that. Great stuff, and I think this is a really good fit for a Phantom Stranger book. This looks pretty cool. He's got a nice
artwork.
Yeah, I love the way he draws people. He's a great kind of, the colors on his stuff always look fantastic too. Really, really cool stuff.
Trigon.
Yeah, it looks really cool. So I'm excited about Phantom Stranger number 1. Then I've got The Pound number 2 by IDW. This was sort of a neat idea. These were guys that were working for essentially the city and catching dogs, and they end up in Cleveland, and suddenly Cleveland has a monster problem. So they find themselves, instead of catching dogs, they're catching creatures and werewolves and things of that nature. And at the end of the last issue, Proof shows up to help them with whatever problem they got going on presently. And as you all know, I was a very, very big fan of Proof. Loved that book. So that's enough for me to try a completely different book just because he's in it. And I'm finding that it's fun. Then I've got Team 7 number 1 from DC. I liked the Zero issue. I thought it was pretty cool, kind of getting all their you know, they're mercenary type guys together on one team, Deathstroke and Grifter, and sort of a military aspect. I really wanted to like that Grifter book and just couldn't. So I'm willing to give this book a try. And I really liked the Zero issue. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a fun action-y book. I dug it. So I'm willing to try the number 1. Then I've got Hoax Hunters, issue number 4 by Michael Morrissey and Steve Seeley. I really like this book. It's kind of fun. I mean, the premise and kind of what the backup story in the hack slash was, you know, the Zero issue essentially, was that here's the group that is, you know, finding Bigfoot and all that, and they're not finding him on purpose so that you don't know it exists. There's a little bit more to it. That's essentially just the premise. There's obviously different story going on. There's some weird voodoo thing and people turning into weird, mindless zombie types, set themselves on fire. Some really, really weird stuff, and I dig it. I think it's really, really cool, and you know, Michael Morrissey and Steve Seeley, really, really cool dudes. Then I've got Morning Glories. This is issue number 22. This book's getting somewhere. I'm really looking forward to reading this book in one big chunk when it's finally done, because it has been, in those early issues, it was like, what the heck is going on? And now we've got all this time travel, and characters are not exactly what they seem. You know, the characters that you thought were going to give you a little hope aren't giving you hope anymore, and where's it going to go? You know, I don't know. I'm really curious. I really like this book. I feel like there was a lag at some point where there was maybe a month in between or something, because I certainly feel like, you know, it's taken a long time to get to where they're going. So again, I'm looking forward to reading it in all one big giant chunk. If you're not reading this would be great. You should get into the beginning and get caught up, because you'd have some fun just reading it straight through. And I'd be interested in hearing what that perspective would be.
Yeah.
And that takes me through the bulk of my stack.
I'm going to start off with Green Lantern, the animated series. Again, this is based on the cartoon show, which has just returned. I really enjoy the show. I like this season a lot more. It looks like this one's got Zilius Zox trying to do something to impress Atrocitus. It's also got the animated debut of Goldface, which is an old Silver Age Green Lantern villain.
Okay.
Like I've said before, this really kind of has a lot of the feel of the old Green Lantern books. They're all done in ones. It's not kind of the big, expansive crossover, but it's still kind of got the Red Lanterns and stuff like that. I'm hoping that they actually move the book into the second season. You know, the first season all dealt with the Red Lanterns, which is where they still are here. The second season is dealing with the Manhunters and the Anti-Monitor,
cool.
and it's not off on the edges of space. It's actually back a little closer to the DC universe. Guy Gardner has appeared.
Okay.
Chip has appeared. Tomar Rhee has appeared. So they're getting a little bit more into kind of the Green Lantern stuff that we all know. Hopefully this book will reflect that before too long. But in the meantime, it's still Art and Franco doing a great job on the animated stuff. And really just a lot of fun. It's kid-friendly, but it's still it's kind of adult-friendly too. So if you like Green Lantern, this is a good book to get. Next up, Green Lantern Corps. You know, this is kind of the opposite. Not that it isn't good, but this is a big, sprawling story.
Sure.
This is the next part of the Rise of the Third Army. It started off in the regular Green Lantern book. Now we're going to get some more of these freaky-looking Third Army zombie kind of mouthless characters. We've got Guy Gardner and the Green Lanterns. You know, all of this is a plot by the Guardians to wipe out all of the lanterns, not just the Green Lanterns, but the Yellow Lanterns, the Red Lanterns, and replace them with this new force that they've created. I'm pretty sure they're not going to succeed, but I guess we'll see, you know, what the fallout is from that. Next up, Punk Rock Jesus. We've talked about this several times already. This is one of my favorite books.
Mine too.
Honestly, I have not read the last issue, so I don't really know where this one is. We've certainly got we've got the punk rock here with the spiked mohawk on the front. Looks like we've got some punk rock spiked mohawks throughout. Great artwork by Sean Murphy. I'm hoping that I can catch up with this issue and the last, because
the last issue was pretty good. It's definitely getting. There were some unanswered questions I felt left from number one, and I feel that those questions are unanswered, but the answers are there if you're looking. That's what I really, really like about that book, is that it's just been phenomenal. He's not spoon feeding it to you. He's got a story. You know, the third issue, I felt like I was missing something a little bit. He jumps us forward in time a little bit and just drops us right in the middle. But if you're paying attention and you're reading the thing, they tell you what's going on and where they dropped you and why they dropped you there. It seems like a jump, but it's not. It's just solid storytelling.
This has been a great book, one of the best books coming out from Vertigo.
Agreed.
I've just kind of been behind on a lot of things in the last month, so you're going to hear that.
It happens. I haven't read the last issue of A vs. X, but I have read Punk Rock Jesus.
So hopefully by the time issue 5 comes out, I will be all caught up. This is actually literally on the top of my stack. I wanted to try and read it before I got here, but I actually fell asleep last night. A book I am caught up on, Fantastic Four. This is Jonathan Hickman's final issue. Let's have a moment of silence for the best Fantastic Four run, I think, since John Byrne did the book 20+ years ago.
Yeah.
I had some issues with the run at different points.
I've got all the issues.
I think there were some spots after Dale Eaglesham left and before Steve Epton came on where the art was not bad by any means, but not as strong as the writing. And you know that's a problem that no one has any control over. When an artist leaves or can't meet deadlines, they still got to get the book out. But it's gone through the death of Johnny Storm, the return of Johnny Storm, switching to FF instead of Fantastic Four. But all in all, this is going to go down as one of the best runs of the Fantastic Four ever. I'm sorry to see it go, but I'm very happy to see it go out on top and go out strong rather than just sort of peter out and fade away. I'm sure this is a great issue. It looks like we've got Dr. Doom in here. Hickman's been wrapping up a lot of his loose ends.
Yes, he has.
So when this is all said and done, if you have not gotten this, I'm sure there will be a nice, thick Jonathan Hickman FF omnibus that will tell you one great, big, complete story.
I'll be buying that.
And he's done a fantastic job. And we've got new costumes. And again, next month we get a new Fantastic Four #1 with Marvel Now. Matt Fraction is taking over.
Okay.
We'll see how that one goes. I really feel sorry for Matt Fraction. Out of all of the Marvel Now books and all of the relaunches, his is the toughest job.
Oh yeah, he's got some big shoes to fill.
Because even Hickman picking up after Bendis, Bendis made the Avengers his own for a very long time.
Oh sure.
But he also kind of really just sort of said everything he had to say. And most people kind of think that maybe it went on a little long. I don't know. But this was just so good and so Hickman and so unique and so specific a voice that following that up is really going to be tough.
He got those characters too.
Yeah. So again, this was almost my pick of the week. There's several books I've got that have been fighting it out for pick of the week. The only reason I didn't make this pick of the week, you'll see when I actually get there. Next up is Think Tank. This is again the story of a guy who is a brilliant guy who's part of a government think tank, who creates weapons, who has now had a crisis of conscience when he realizes that all of this stuff that he's been coming up with, that to him is just sort of cerebral and intellectual, when he really realizes that people are dying because of it, he feels bad about it. He doesn't want to create any more stuff for him, but the military isn't too fond of him spending their money and living off them without actually giving them weapons. So he's trying to find ways to meet their needs without really doing it. I actually don't quite know where the book is. I actually, again, had not read the last issue. First issue was great. The second issue I actually started, but didn't finish. Great artwork. It's in black and white. It's a great idea. Another one of those Image comics. It's kind of got a sci-fi, a little bit of espionage. Definitely feels like they could make a TV show or a movie out of this one.
Cool.
Next up, we've got Secret Service by Mark Millar. This one I actually did read the last issue of, but I don't know what happened because it was a very long time ago. It's about a guy who's in the British Secret Service. He gets his nephew, who is very smart but kind of headed for a life of crime, brings him in and mentors him to become a Secret Service agent. I think in the last issue they just showed a little bit more of his training, and he kind of was having some problems dealing with some of the other recruits. This issue just sort of continues where that's going to go, a little bit more of his training, but also there's been this plot. In the first issue, we see Mark Hamill getting abducted and killed. There's apparently a subplot that's been going on. Actors and writers and science fiction celebrities are getting abducted. And in this issue, we find out a little bit more about what that story is, what that big plot is. which is actually a very neat, fun idea. Next up, Captain America number 18. Is this the last, or is next issue the last?
Beggars on it.
Let's see. Oh, next issue, it's all capped off. So this is the second to last issue of Brubaker's run. This is continuing the storyline. Basically, chaos is breaking out in the United States. Kind of an interesting, going with the political stuff that's going on in our country around the election. A cable news channel is spewing a lot of hate and maybe doing some mind control, and they've got this weird
That would suck if
robot.
that really happened in the real world.
Well, at least in this one, the guy's a robot that's doing all that, so that would actually be kind of cool. They're turning the country against Captain America, and riots are breaking out, and Cap and the Falcon and all of his crew. It looks like we got some Baron Zemo too. Basically, they're going to stop the bad guys. They're going to remind America what it means to be America and all that stuff. So yeah, just a little bit more Ed Brubaker, Captain America. We got one more issue to go before it gets its Marvel Now treatment. Next up, Wolverine and the X-Men 18. This, I think, is the last of the A versus X crossovers. Now, obviously, we've got the Consequences book. I think there's an A plus X book coming out. But this is the last of it. I don't really know how it's tying in. I don't know if it's going to deal with some of the repercussions of the issue 12 that we're not going to spoil.
Scott's all phoenixed up on the cover.
This actually, I remember seeing this as
he's phoenixed up on the cover of that one and knocked out on the other.
I seem to recall seeing this solicited as a cover for a different issue, so I don't know if anything happened with that. But basically, oh my goodness, something big happens at the end. But yeah, this ties into the events at the end. So this ties into the events. It gives the take of the school. This happens after Avengers versus X-Men, but it's giving us the school's perspective on what's happened. Again, if you've read Avengers versus X-Men number 12, you know that some big things happen to the mutant universe in general that definitely tie into what's going on in the school. So we get a little bit of that perspective. Now we get to the launch of Marvel Now. We've got the Uncanny Avengers by Rick Remender. Basically, after the fight between the X-Men and the Avengers, Captain America has put together a team that has X-Men and Avengers together so that the Avengers can actually help the mutants. And in the past, that was one of the criticisms that ran throughout AVX, was that the Avengers pretty much sat out every time somebody was trying to exterminate all the mutants. And now Captain America wants to be more proactive. He wants mutants on the Avengers team, even though there's always been mutants on the Avengers team. But now it's a little bit more of a fair mix, a little bit more of a ratio.
It's less popular mutants on the Avengers team.
Well, Wolverine.
Well, that's what I mean. He's the popular mutant on the team. He's always going to be there.
Wolverine, Rogue, Havoc, and the Scarlet Witch. I don't know if that's the full team. But more than anything else, this is featuring some fabulous artwork by John Cassaday. Rick Remender's done a great job on all the other Marvel stuff that he's been doing. So, wow, this is some great artwork.
It is good.
So, yeah, this is the beginning of Marvel Now. And that's the bulk of my stack.
All right, well, I guess it brings me to the top of my stack here, which is on Sunday, we've got the premiere of Season 3 of Walking Dead that's coming up. And they're introducing a brand new character, Michonne, who is that character with the swords that shows up at the end of the last season. Well, she's a great character in the comic, and she's been around since issue number 19. This week, conveniently and coincidentally, Images put out the Walking Dead Michonne special number 1. This book is going to not only reprint issue number 19, which was her first appearance, it also reprints her origin that appeared in April's Playboy, which features a certain somebody as pretty much the main zombie character in the story. Not that I'm, totally, into myself and narcissistic, but I am in 6 panels. I have counted. So kind of exciting, kind of cool that that's now reprinted in a format that you don't have to go out and buy that Playboy. I know there are lots of people under 18 that, that couldn't buy that thing legally, but even though I joked around that I don't think I bought one since after I turned 18. But now, if you couldn't have that story before, you can have that story now, and that I think that was a good move on their part. And I also like being in more places.
Yeah.
So,
so basically, if you like Michonne, is that how you pronounce it?
I think it's Michonne.
Michonne. It's Chris's fault that she's actually in the Walking Dead universe.
Well, sort of. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I am a plot point.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
My top pick is Batman number 13. Now, this was tough. Fantastic Four was almost my top pick because it's the goodbye for Jonathan Hickman.
Sure.
Punk Rock Jesus was almost my top pick because it's been a great book, even though I'm not caught up. Uncanny Avengers was almost my top pick because it's the launch of this brand new Marvel series, and I love John Cassaday. We haven't seen his artwork on interiors in years.
Yeah.
He's one of my all-time favorite artists, and that alone should do it. This one just edged him out for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is the return of the Joker. When the Joker appeared in Detective Comics, I think at the launch of the New 52. Now we're really going to get the Joker. This is a big storyline that's crossing over through all of the Batman titles, even though you can just read the Batman book.
Right.
Its impact is
the same as the Owls.
Right. Yeah. Its impact is going to be felt across all of them. It's the death of the family storyline. So we're going to get the Joker. We're getting Scott Snyder doing the Joker, which I think is going to be fantastic. And the thing that sort of sealed it was we get this cool little die cut. I thought it was a mask. It's really kind of half a mask. But this is a sweet...
They half-masked it.
a sweet die-cut cover that I guess you could use as a mask. And this is also on Batgirl this week.
The 90s, I'm telling you, lately. We got die-cut covers. We got Valiant books.
So when I came in and saw that we get a nice fold-over cardstock die-cut cover, that put it over the edge for me. And my top pick is Batman, Death of the Family, with the return of probably the creepiest-looking Joker you have ever seen. If you know what happened in that Detective Comics...
I'm excited to see how Capullo's drawing here, because he had a little bit of a Twitter tantrum when they released some art from... that's pretty fantastic. He was pretty bummed out that they released this awesome redesign, and it wasn't even his redesign.
Right. So
it was someone else's art, but he calmed down and he was like, you know what, you're going to see it, and this only teases you a little bit, and that looks pretty awesome.
If you're a Batman fan, this is definitely for you. So that's my top pick.
Right on. And I would like to mention another thing. We've got the trade paperback of Saga is in this week. There's also the trade paperback of Thief of Thieves. And that Transfusion looked pretty good by Steve Niles and Minton J. Matthews. He was not necessarily. I don't know that he watches this show, but I know he was a friend of the Zod Complex.
Yeah, great artist.
Amazing stuff, fantastic stuff. So be sure to check all those things out. And that is your Week in Geek.